All right, part two. And we will be quick here. We want to get you working. Okay. When we left off, we were talking about what I want to see in paragraphs 2 through 4, the body of the essay. Okay. These bullet points that you see in front of me, you have these. These are going to be in your assignment. So you cannot forget. You don't need to take notes right now because I have already taken these notes for you. So let's look at this. Okay. Here's all our work so far. We're right here. Okay, what do I want to see in paragraphs 2 through 4? Well, I want to see a topic sentence. The first sentence of each new paragraph needs to introduce your reason. Okay, remember we get the reasons from the claim, from the thesis. So reason number 1 is that the starlings are not native to the United States. Reason number 2, they smell bad and are often noisy and destructive. And reason number 3, they are considered pests. Okay, so for each new paragraph, you need to introduce that reason. Okay, here's an example. Starlings are not native to the United States. That's a simple sentence. It introduces your reason. It's good enough. Number 2, starlings are destructive. They smell bad, noisy, and cause much damage. Very good. Okay, that's the first sentence of your third paragraph. Okay, very simple. I would like you to pause right now and clarify that. Okay, Patricia and Brielle, make sure that we all understand what we are looking for in a topic sentence. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, back to work. Now, the next thing I want to see in these paragraphs, I want to see evidence, citable evidence, which means information that you have found in other sources, using other sources, the internet, books, mostly we use the internet. Okay, you're going to present that in your essay. That's part of the argument. Okay, you're presenting the evidence. This is not a straight up emotional persuasive essay, which means I don't really just want to hear your opinion. I want to hear the professional's opinion. I want to hear evidence. Okay, I want to see stuff from other folks. So for each paragraph, for each body paragraph, 2 through 4, you're going to need two pieces of evidence for each paragraph. Okay, and you'll need an explanation. How does this piece of evidence back up my claim? That's what you're going to explain. Okay, so for each piece of evidence, you need a little bit of an explanation. So if you're going to talk about how starlings are not native to the United States, and you quote an individual that talks about how they're from Europe, explain why then that made it okay for the folks to be cruel. Okay, well, obviously because they're pests and they're not native, so we, should be able to get rid of them. Okay. So you're going to need an explanation. Now, you're going to practice this. So if you don't understand this, you're going to get plenty of practice because in today's assignment, which you can download off Canvas, Argumentative Writing number 2, this is what you're going to do. Instructions. You're going to fill in the boxes below. Notice the boxes below. Let's go down to one of them right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. One for the topic sentence, one for one piece of evidence, one for your next piece of evidence, and one for your explanation. Okay? Now, I have completed an example for you. In this, I decided to use reason number 1, which I selected starlings are not native to the United States, and I used a topic sentence. Starlings are not native to the United States. Simple as that. It introduces the topic. It does not need to be any more clever than that. Okay, then my evidence. Starlings are originally from the European continent, and I used an in-text citation and cited the author that I borrowed that from. Evidence 2, starlings were brought over from Europe as a part of the Shakespearean experience. I don't have a quotation mark right here, but I should. So just pretend like there is one right here where my cursor is, okay? Because I did use it word for word with an in-text citation. And then my last box, how does the evidence back up my claim? Well, this is what I decided to write. Starlings do not fit into the American plan. They are not native and therefore can be very destructive and invasive. Great literary minds decided to bring the birds into the United States so people could see the different birds described by Shakespeare, but ultimately brought a pest that would soon overpopulate urban areas. Okay? I simply described how these two pieces of evidence backed up my claim that, basically the family did not act in a cruel manner because starlings are not native to the United States. Okay? So you're going to do that for paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. So you'll do that 3 times. Once you're done with that, you'll go to the bottom of the page. Now, I'm going to minimize my page, and I know this is going to get small, but I hope you guys can still see. Once you fill in these boxes, you're going to actually write a rough draft of these paragraphs, okay? And I'll show you how to organize it. Again, remember, what's the first sentence? Well, the first sentence is the topic sentence, okay? So starlings are not native to the United States. Okay, there's my first sentence of paragraph 2. I've introduced the topic. I'm good to go. Okay, now I could continue to explain that. I can introduce evidence. I can do whatever I want here. I'm going to introduce some evidence right here. Starlings are originally from, the European continent. Quotation mark. And make sure I get my in-text citation. Okay. This would also be a good time to explain how they got into the United States. So let's do that after I shrink down my size here a little bit so you guys can see it all. Okay, so let's add some new evidence. We can continue to add evidence here. Starlings were brought over from Europe as a part of the experience. And again, my in-text citation. Now, guys, can you see that I'm just taking this information that I've already filled out and I'm making a real paragraph here? I'm writing. Okay. Okay, I have my 2 pieces of evidence. That's all I need. I need to now start kind of, explaining my evidence. Okay. And this is where I could probably use this right here. So we'll just copy and paste this over. Oh, that's goofy, huh? Okay. So I've explained now some of my evidence. I'm not necessarily done now. I feel like as I read through this paragraph, I need to explain a little bit more on how it relates to my claim that the family did not act in a cruel manner, because ultimately that's what we're talking about in this essay. So let me add some more to it. I'm going to talk about maybe the family in question, okay, that's the family that we're talking about, decided to eliminate these non-native species because they were acting in a destructive manner. I'm going to explain why I think the European Shakespeare folks screwed up. The Europeans that brought the starlings to the United States could not foresee, it means look into the future, foresee the damage that, and I spelled the foresee wrong, of course. They could not foresee the damage that the bird would eventually cause. Okay, believe it or not, guys, I'm done with this paragraph. After I make it, well, I'm in Google Docs, so I make it Times New Roman size 12 and double space it, and then I'm done. Okay, that's my first paragraph, and I would add that to the bottom here. Okay, add that to the bottom here, and then once you've done that for all 3, turn it in. I will see you guys Monday.